Hi friends, good evening. Small technical issue that has come. Welcome to the fifth FB live series. What next, HR folks? Today we are going to have the companies are becoming so much of learning organizations. Companies need to become a learning, and companies are competitive advantage. That's what people are saying about. So, what is this learning organizations to be? So, let us today we are going to discuss about the learning and development today. Why companies are need to become learning organizations? Why this is so much a buzzword today? What is happening with us? Being the businesses are becoming so complex, as we also have seen that the shift from finance to technology to people side, it has come. Now the focus lead is on talent and the people. Companies which are having a very good talent, companies which are having a right kind of talent, actually they are becoming the topmost, and they are bringing the organizations to the levels actually. So those people are ruling the things right now. Okay, so the talent is becoming the competitive advantage, because every company wants to become competitive enough with their competitors, and people are having companies are looking at a profitability that they are looking at. So they are looking for on-time delivery, the production, the more production and more quality and more reachability towards the people is most important. For which companies need to become abreast with the latest technologies also. So these points are making the organizations to become learning organizations. What is a learning organization? There is a constant strategy as well as execution of developing the talent. Here there are two concepts are there. One is buying the talent and building the talent. So which type of decision that organizations need to take? It again depends on the relatively which is a cheaper, which is a time oriented, basing on the challenge or the context with which we are dealing with. So basing on that, whether to build the teams or to buy the teams, that's what we need to see. Most of the organizations are showing interest in terms of building the teams, because more of people need to be there, and organizations need to grow progressively towards that. That is the most important thing. So when the organizations are growing progressively towards that, need to go for that. Organizations need to improve the capabilities. They need to improve the capability. Capabilities of what? Organization's capability, how it will become. How an organization has got evolved. People will come, people will go. But organizations also will learn. There is a knowledge management also will be done. So over a period of time, organizations also will learn, and we need to have in a structured way, in a strategic way, that we need to keep the training or the learning aspects we need to bring it into. Here we need to talk about our training as well as learning also. Right? Training and learning. Some questions are coming up. So I'll continue my discussion once after seeing the questions and all. Let me answer for those things. Looking into present condition, there seems to be a lot of changes are coming in the market. Can you say something how this lockdown and post-lockdown conditions are going to change in the learning and development scenario? Yes, it's a very good question. During the lockdown period, what is happening is, in the current conditions, what is happening is people are more relying upon the technology and the new methods of training. Till today, whatever the classroom sessions, till today what is the outbound trainings which are happening, inbound trainings, on the job trainings, right? These things are many a things which we know. Now today what we are learning is online learning, micro learning. We are learning through live coaching models, right? Different kinds of methods that were being experimented, and we are trying to weigh balance the what is this learning experience is, and how it is useful to us, whether we are meeting the learning objectives or not. This is what is the during the lockdown period that people are testing into that. Post lockdown, what happens? Post lockdown also will have the similar kind of situations would continue. That is what HR experts are predicting. More of learning can be translated and can be seen where the effectiveness is coming. And not only COVID situation, even much before also, people have understood that the learning methodology, not from the training side of it, that's what is the point we are talking about. Not from the training perspective. what is the training that you are giving, how many number of trainings you have given, how many number of hours of training that you have given, it is become meaningless when the learning is not happening towards that. The learning is not only learning or improving the knowledge or technicalities or awareness. Sorry, it is how much that you are translating that into your job, how much you are able to improve your performance into your job, how much productivity that you have developed into organization is the most important thing. So that is where learning and development needs to have some kind of a strategy, right? Need to have some kind of a planning, need to have some kind of a, execution methodologies and the right kind of a trainings and learnings that needs to happen for the people who are in the L&D teams, right? So it is imperative for the HR departments also to how effectively that we need to go for that and what is that we need to do for that. So I'll move forward. I'll tell you what exactly the things that are going to happen for that. Thank you for asking this question. So coming to learning and training, excuse me. Coming to the there is another, yeah, no. Learning and training. Training is from the trainer's perspective. Learning is from the learner's perspective. The amount of experience, the amount of learning what this person is having, right, is the most important quantification or quality related aspect that we need to look into. That is what is to be calibrated, not the training aspect into it, right? So number of trainings, number of whatever the total number of activities that we have conducted, what is the total amount of budget that we have exhausted or how much that we have allocated and all, these are all secondary, right? The meaning of if the learning is not there, then the meaning of the training will not be there. Both are on the other side of the table. It is from the learner's perspective, the learning will become. So it need not be one form of training. It can be any form of the training. That's where that is impacting the learning of a particular individual. That makes a sense for us, right? Yeah. So companies need to become profitable, for which what they need to do is they need to invest in the learning. That is the most important thing, right? So what is that companies are investing into the learning of the individuals is the most important thing. That's where you can easily correlate or you can easily attribute the ROI part of it towards the productivity of the organization. There is a direct proportion aspect is there with the learning part of it. There is another question has come. Recently we are hearing that companies are switching over to different software apps and all to make the work from home more effective. What could be the effective performance management aspects managers have to learn? Yes, definitely. So there is a more number of softwares that are coming, right? There are so many are there. GoToMeeting is there, Microsoft Teams is there, Zoom is there, right? And Cisco's WebEx, a lot of things that have come, right, which are giving you some kind of a connectivity towards to work better in the work from home kind of things. So in light of this, what could be the performance aspects that managers have to look into? According to me, what I'm thinking is HR managers need to understand what is the stability or what is the usage and what kind of people are able to make it out. I'll tell you one of my experiences. When we are switching from the Zoom to, because Zoom is a little insecure, so some technical people have suggested us to go for Microsoft Teams. So we are getting into Microsoft Teams. See the kind of adoption that we are taking and trying to understand the features that it is having, though it seems to be very much navigatable, and Microsoft has prepared that so that it would be very comfortable for the people to go with. But still there are things that we need to look into, how the performance of this particular software and what is this is going to give it to us. We need to have that kind of features are there with that particular software or not, or what is that we would like to achieve. Is it a conference? Is it a sharing of the documents? Is it small time meetings, or is it a chat, group chats, or combinedly people are working together and wants to deliver something? right? There are so many things that we need to see, and we need to write down all those, list down all those activities that are required for us, and what is the convenience of these products that are working towards us. Otherwise we may not be able to track and trace the performance of the individuals, and it takes a long time for us to find out a right kind of features to come into. So it is HR that needs to adapt fast, and you need to train with the technical teams. You need to train for those things. There is another question is there. After lockdown period, companies will expect more productivity from employees. Do you think trainings will help to yield more productivity? uh, yes, of course. So companies will expect definitely the productivity. The way of doing things have changed from the last almost like 3 weeks, 4 weeks almost, right? So people are learning, people have learned how to bring in the productivity part of it. Now companies are coming up with, I checked with most of the people how you are managing the kind of work from home situation. That's what we checked with the people. Then what they have told is, I mean, in light of training also, what we have found out is people are having a set forth targets. They would like to keep it individually. They would like to monitor things, and what kind of a training needs that needs to be looked into, and that is yielding. People are feeling that more amount of work is happening. That's what we felt, right? Than which is not happening, except those the companies where they have to work at the missions on the floors, and where they cannot, due to lockdown, they cannot move. If we keep them aside, but rest of the people who are working from home and wants to deliver the things and all, those people's productivity is increasing, right? Seems to be good actually. Once these teething problems of technology and the connectivity and coordinations were being rightly managed by the people, they're doing fantastic. And I think this becomes an alternative work towards after lockdown period also, for to keep up the productivity and all these things. I think this would be one of the right kind of experiments that people have done that, and right kind of trainings also. Coming to the training context part of it, if we can train the people towards that technically, and making them also to understand these things, because these are all just handy, right? Using an application, that's it. It will have some kind of features and how to use them effectively. We can write down a small self-help books, and as well people are also tech savvy. Most of the people are tech savvy these days, so getting ahead with these things should not be a big problem. Only connectivity, VPN, security, and the data related other aspects might take a little time for the, it's a challenge for the IT and networking people. But rather user perspective, from the work from home kind of things, yes, connectivity is the only thing that we need to look into. Otherwise things people are looking at working it better, and productivity is also improving. That is what we are getting the news from the market, right? That's a great thing. So coming to our you know profitability of the organizations, right? They need to invest in the learning of the people, because learning of individuals is not individual sake only. It is an organization's learning which is going to happen. If you can continue the similar kind of aspects, right, making the organizations learning in any form, right, there are no constraints actually. The people are not available under one roof, even then still learning can continue. What kind of things that we need to learn? What is a learning means? Actually learning that we are talking about. So what is the learning means? What is learning? Learning of what actually? Learning of what is the skills that you need to learn. Now what are the kind of skills it is? It is industry wise skills, job wise skills, task wise skills. There are primarily three kinds of skills that people needs to learn about, right? So what is the industry is talking about? Suppose now it's very much limelight is healthcare. Suppose you are in the healthcare industry. So what is this industry needs are? Every employee of any size of the organization must know about the industry, how industry behaves, what is the best practice of the industry, and what industry experts and what is that expects, and what is that the customers in the same industry, right? The customers of that particular industry, what is that they are looking at, what is that they need, right? Those things that we need to look into. And second category is a job. Within your purview of the job, say suppose you are an accountant or a HR or any sales or a software developer, development guy, whoever it is, you must know completely about your umbrella of your job. You must thoroughly knowing about your job completely, right? What kind of things that we need to do, what kind of activities that we are supposed to do, are we really having such kind of command towards that? Because then there is no confusion, job is very clear, expectations are clear. So then if you learn those skills also, automatically your performance increases and productivity also in turn it increases, and at a task level. So why the things will take time is because how to handle the task most of the people don't know. What is people know that to complete the task, but the time is taking too much of time than they expected. So those things that we need to curb means you need to have that task related best practices. What is the best way to complete this particular task is the most important thing, right? So these are all the three things: industry wise, job wise, and task wise. Learning need to happen. When you are strategizing to make the company as a learning organization, you need to take care of these three things. There is another question has come. Once the lockdown period is there, there is no such guarantee that everything is going to run as it was earlier, and people may also have to look forward for alternate careers. How would you suggest the learning approach should be for those who may look for alternate careers? That's wonderful, actually. So it's not going to be the same after the lockdown period. That's for sure. That many of the experts are saying very clearly that it's not going to be the same as earlier. Things are going to change. What is that is going to change? Things are the way that we are working, right? The way the mindsets are there, the way the constraints, whatever that we are having, we are not able to do. So those things will definitely, go off according to me, and more of changes are going to come. Not only one, actually, the way of working is going to change. The models of working practices will change, right? A lot of things that are going to happen. Yes, definitely we may have to look for alternate careers. See, it's not about a post lockdown. What happens is the recession, economic slowdown might come, will come definitely. So today also we are seeing a lot of stagnation is there. It takes time actually to wheel again to run with its own pace, right? Like earlier, it takes time. For which, what is that we need to do is look for alternative careers. Is for those people who are not having a right kind of contractual jobs. There is a job insecurity. People are there, right? So such kind of people, and they are doing some kind of not into the core critical activities. If the people are not doing it, probably they may have to look for alternate careers. Alternate careers you need to choose. Definitely, I'll come up with another episode with this on the alternate careers. What is that we need to do? Anyway, we are planning for that. So, what is that alternate careers that you need to go for an approach of? First, you need to know about what is that you have. What are the skills that you have? What are the skills that you are going to exhibit those things? Because whatever you know is not important, but what is that you can create a value is the most important thing. Out of knowing, out of whatever the knowledge that you are having, so what is that you can create is the organizations are going to look for. So when you are choosing alternate careers also, what you need to look into is what is the next best skill that I am having, and what is that I can create to the organizations or society or whoever it is you would like to give your services, and they can pay for you. See, alternate career is definitely, has a passion, it has a skill, and it has somebody is ready to pay for you. Suppose you have a passion and the skill, but nobody is ready to pay for you, you will not create any career for you. It becomes a hobby and you will just stay there only, right? Suppose if it is somebody must be ready to pay, you need to check that very carefully. That should be your approach. So who will buy my services, or who will take my products or something, and what is that they pay? This is the which you need to look into when you are looking for alternate careers, because it is not that which you have already set forth and something is running. Suddenly there is a stoppage is there, and you need to get down from that particular vehicle and you need to take up another vehicle. Then you need to know about that particular vehicle, whether it reaches to you to the destination or in the direction at least, right? So anyway, we are going to talk about those alternate careers in detail about that. But my suggestion for those people who are looking for alternate careers is choose the next best skill, whatever that you are having. Is there anybody ready to pay for you? right? Are you going to bring in, and what kind of a value that you are going to put it across on the table? So these things that you need to look into when you are approaching for alternate careers, right? Thank you for asking this question. Right. Coming back to learning is three skills wise that we need to learning of what? Learning of skills, right? Then how the learning effort starts, where to start the learning, that is what organizations might look into in your strategy of learning or making the organizations learning, right? Why we need to make it out? We need to up and running, and there is a progressive growth that we need to bring in, and as an organization the talents needs to get stabilized in the organization has to progressively move forward. So where the learning effort need to start, the learning effort starts usually with skill gap analysis. What is that we have, what is that we are required actually, where we are expecting and where we are standing right now. This is from the individual, team and organization perspective also we need to look at. As an individual, right? What is that they are, what is that required things are there as an individual for that particular job role, and what he is having. The gap can be identified that needs to be added into the learning part of it, right? As a team, suppose software development team is there, what is the stack that you need to have, software skills that you need to have, right? Those things that you need to look into, and how much is the skill levels that are there, and what is the skill gap that we are having. Employee skill matrix will work much better in this, right? So find it out the gap, and it needs the gap also need to be defined very clearly, objectively to the core. We need to make a note of it, then only we can do effective learning, that we can make it out, right? So the first thing is learning of skills. Learning of what? Learning of skills, industry wise, job wise and task wise. Second thing is learning effort starts with skill gap analysis, and we need to find out and we need to define it very clearly, right? These are the 2 points are there. I'll come up with the next points, and there's a question here. If I'm thinking to invest in a learning and development institution, is this the right time to invest, and which kind of learnings will grow more? Okay. Yeah, because stock markets are falling, and slowly people are redeeming their investments, and they would like to invest in L&D companies, actually learning and development companies. I think it is a good investment, because if you are investing in the institutions, how it would be, there is an economic slowdown is there. I cannot say about the investment, I'm not the best expert in that, but whatever that I know, I'll try to tell it to you. The learning efforts are going to grow, right? Micro learning, virtual learning, video learning, right? So many learnings are coming up, and people are also identifying, individuals are also identifying, and there is no option for the people to improve their talents and their skills. Definitely, no doubt about it. Academic learning is not enough to get the jobs into industry. So definitely and learning is a continuous process. It's not only to open up a key and to get a job. It's not only for the job itself. It is to continuous thriving and continuously learning about it, so that to bring up ourselves, the progress that we need to bring individually is also is going to be the success factor of it. So definitely training institutions or learning institutions, whatever are there, if they are adopting the best of the methods of learning, then only the things will happen. We have seen over a period of time so many learning organizations, so many training institutions, so many coaching institutions that we are seeing right from the beginning itself, right? So many years these things are there. But if you closely observe what is the trend which is happening, is people are changing the methods of teaching, methods of training, methods of learning, that whatever is there. And due to this, self-learning, mobile app learning, right? Small parts that people would love to learn. When it comes to the task wise, that's what we discussed in our point. Job wise and task wise skills development side, people are more interested, so that they would like to be more comfortable and command over their jobs, so that they can get a better things into it. So they are looking at organizations are looking at learning and development organizations are looking at alternative methods of teaching and training. And there's not only training aspect itself, there should be a workaround also, because your learning will be very high in the beginning, and slowly it depletes over a period of time. And experts will say that after 30 days of whatever that you have learned, right? First 7 days it will slowly dip down, and after that it completely goes off. By 30th, almost 30 days, people will not remember anything whatever they have learned. So now you need to choose such kind of companies which are having a workaround which they are creating. That means gamification, storytelling methods, case studies, practical aspects, exercises, right? These kind of things that they are giving. How long that they are engaging their students, such kind of companies that you need to choose, because engaging of the students is the most important thing, and so that they'll not forget whatever they have learned. The very purpose of learning is not just companies, L&D companies are making money is not the only thing. From individuals pocket to organizations or institutions pockets, money is transferring is not the not only the objective of it. There are many sorry, many objectives were there. One of the best things is people need to get a workaround, and people need to have a engagement completely, so that the learnings get translated into a particular thing. Then only the people would be interested to visit those companies and wants to learn more from those methodologies actually. So you need to have that kind of a robust mechanism towards those things. First you need to look into such kind of companies which are adopting those methods and approaches, and then invest in that. Okay, how much, and I'm not quite sure about that, how much that you need to invest in what way. No? I'm not that great in that investments finances part of it. Another question is sir, I'm interested in getting trained, but I'm unable to manage the time during the lockdown period with work, meetings, family, etc. Can you suggest some tips for time management? That's really a nice question. It is the best time actually to become an organized people. That's what you need to live, because you do not, at your spell you have 24 hours. It's not that 8 hours of 10 to 6 or 9 to 6 or 10 to 7 or whatever. There is no such kind of clutches right now. You can start early in the morning, you can be up to late night also, with taking some different number of breaks also. It is not that the time is not a not getting time is not a right kind of excuse. Making time is the best opportunity for you. So this is the best time to utilize and to keep family as well as work as well as the life. Earlier you need to go to a particular place, complete the things, come back. Now the travel time is not there. Nobody is going to constrain about this time and this time. Only scheduled meetings and other things will be there, right? Otherwise you are at your freedom to choose. Now today learning is not you take Udemy, you take any of the formal and online learning stores. So many things are there actually, right? So those technology based enablements, learning management systems, LMS, so many things are coming up right now. So you do not have any time constraint in that. Take a video, learn about it, right? Complete that particular thing, finish up that particular session, and then come back. You're watching a movie, you're watching episodes, you're watching Ramayana. The same way you'll learn things. It's not that time is not, time management techniques are also not that much recommended also. I mean, we need not teach anything to the people. It is your commitment, it is your understanding, it is your own organized methods which is fits into. I might give you some whatever the tips that I know what is working out for me, but what about you? You can design by your own self, right? So I suggest you, my dear, actually you take time and be serious about that, and learn some snippets of learning, and that knowledge or the skill is most important thing, right? Next, many people believe that classroom training is more effective than online training. Is it really so? Lockdown has proved it is wrong. Right? So it is more cost effective. Classroom training, you need a lot of cost that you need to invest in terms of the infrastructure, maintenance costs, right? Chai pani, lighting, facilitating, boards, everything that you need to put it in. Now everything is online. Online is also very much effective. Your trainer is a live coaching, and the trainers are just before you only. And if it is a video, repeated number of times that you can learn. You can listen the same session once again and once again, so that you can learn till you understand such kind of things. There is ebooks, there are PDFs, there are interactive videos, right? So many things are there for your disposal to learn that particular concept very effectively. So online learning is always ahead in terms of the cost, in terms of feasibility, everything is there. Online learning is much better than the classroom training. It's just a fallacy in our mind, nothing else. I have heard that you are saying micro learning. Wish to know more about a micro learning is how it is going to help my learning more effective. Wonderful, Rohan. Micro learning is nothing but learning the things whatever that are required in smaller chunks to that particular concept in a detailed way, in different effective way. That's what I'm saying. You can use mobile apps, through learning through mobile apps, listening to a short term kind of 3 to 5 minutes of videos or learning sessions to know a particular thing very clearly. Suppose you want to learn about the how to handle PF. You need not learn entire statutory compliance related things and all. Nothing. Right? Only just about the particular PF. It doesn't take too much of time. It takes only 7 minutes to 15 minutes maximum time that you can get it. You can learn about that particular piece. That itself gives you a lot of confidence towards while you are running the payrolls. Right? So like that, take the bit and pieces of those particular things. Then automatically you'll learn many things and smaller and short term things and with effective workaround. That's what I'm saying. You need to know something about it more profoundly that you can learn. Because the why micro learning has come up so strongly these days is why since long 2000, I think after 2010-12, at that time this micro learning concepts have become so strong and more buzzwords they are becoming now, is because your attention period, the highest level of attention period will be there for maximum to 7 to 8 minutes at a stretch. That's all, not more than that. After that it depletes, again it comes back, it picks up. But the thing is that human mind and the learning aspect, that's where we are talking about a learning, not about the training. Right? What is the learning experiences and learning methodologies that people are having? So micro learning seems to be the best way it is coming up right now. Right? Even the technical side of it, functional side of it, whatever that you would like to learn, you can learn with the bits and pieces. Suppose in LinkedIn, you want to write, you want to improve your profile. First, you take only one particular thing called summary. Learn about and how best that you can write your summary and what kind of reflections that you need to give it in your LinkedIn summary. There is a learning that has happened in that, in a packet of 7 to 10 minutes of time. That's called micro learning. Okay, and you may have different other things also to make you to be effective into that. You can get those things. Another question as well. Thank you, Rohan, for the question. Sir, what kind of a training will help me to sustain in the competition after lockdown period? Should I take personal development trainings and technical trainings? This question is completely depends on the personal side of it. It's the person, what kind of a job that he is doing, what kind of nature of the work he is having, and where he is standing in the skill set levels. That's the most important thing. So what is the required level of it and what is the existing part of it? What is the gap? What is the required and what is existing? So these things that we need to look into. Right? So then that can be taken as a benchmark, then based on which you need to decide about that, which kind of aspects you need to take. Definitely competition is going to be there everywhere. From the personal side, communication side, personality side, interpersonal skills, communication skills, the way that you handle the work and the best practices, whatever that you know, and how best that you can go ahead with the performances and other things. These all will matter a lot for you. Right? So for those things that you need to look into, it's an individual decision and individually that you need to take a call in that particular thing. Take the help of some eminent experts in the market. So definitely they can help you how to design your career and where you have to look into. Okay? Right? So the first point is learning of what? Skills, industry level, job level and task level. And second thing is learning effort starts with the understanding the skill gap, and need to do a skill gap analysis, and what is the gap, you need to define it objectively. So where we are standing and what are the things that we need to do. 1, 2, 3, these are all the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever the concepts or the skills or things that you need to learn to reach to the required level. Make it a very clear noting of those things. Then your learning objectives will be very clear for you, so that your time will not get wasted and you can learn very specifically, objectively, that you can learn, so that you can become competent in your area. So third point is invest in learning. What is that we are suggesting for the companies is to become the learning organizations. First you need to invest in learning. What is to invest? Investing is what? Investing of your time. Organizations need to invest time in making the learnings. Organizations need to put efforts to make make the learning aspects. I mean, creating such kind of learning environment is the most important thing. Put a library, put a some kind of a kiosks, right? And knowledge related labs, right? Practicing kind of things, some kind of a skill level labs also that you can put it across laboratories and other things, and where you can eminent people also can interact with the people. There is an interactive sessions, a lot of things that you can conduct for that. And the money, the third one is investing is not only the time efforts, you need to put investment of the money also, because money requires actually for to creating such kind of a facilitation part of it, and it is worth actually to invest. We are not calling it as an expense, we are not calling it as a budgetary expenses or some kind of a learning expenses or whatever overheads. We are not talking about that, right? This is an investment has a return. I'll come back to the ROI part of it. The fourth point is ROI. There is another question. Recently, I have interacted with a group of freshers. They said that it's really hard to clear the interviews as they have no practical knowledge being a fresher. Do you think taking trainings can help them to understand the things in the practical way? Definitely. This is the best time actually to gear up for the interviews. What is the difference between an experienced person and a non-experienced person is the familiarity towards the job. As simple as that. Suppose you people are HR people or any job that you can take. So what is that you must know about the recruitment, you must know about the joining formalities and induction part of it. Probably as a fresher, this is where you will invest your time, right? Learning of those things. So if somebody has created some kind of a familiarity towards that, it becomes a very, very easy for you. Unfamiliar environment to familiar environment, these trainings need to be in such a way, need to design in such a way, so that what happens inside the organization, if the training organization or a trainers can create such kind of a visibility in the minds of the people, then the fear of unfamiliarity will go off. They'll be very much confident about that. Yes, I know, I might not have done that, but I know what happens actually. This is the things that I need to take care of. These are all the activities that I am supposed to do. This is the care that I need to take care. Otherwise, I'll fall into pitfalls. So if this is known for the unknown to known aspects were there, then practically you will understand how these trainings would be very much helpful for the people. Right? So definitely this is the right time actually to know about this. Not only this time, anytime if you are going towards the as a fresher, you want to crack the jobs and you want to go for the first breakthrough, you would like to get trained from a senior people, known people. Actually, it is always better to know, right, what kind of things, because you will stop or you will avoid doing the same mistakes where you may lose the opportunity to get into, right? So that's what we need to look into. Can you suggest some trainings for MBA freshers to get into HR? Yes, there are. These days they are coming up, but we are actually to say. Per se, we are doing the similar kind of trainings for the freshers actually to get into HR. The same thing which are the funda which we are also following the same thing. MBA HRs that people have done or the graduation that they have done, they would like to get into HR. So make them familiarity towards the activities of HR, what happens within the organization, what is an organization needs, what is the span of control it will have, right? Not the theory, practically what happens, right? We would like to create such kind of an imagination towards that. Those things are those such kind of a trainings will help for the people to get into. So take up any HR related initial programs, whatever are there, that can give you some kind of a familiarity towards the activities or the you want to get into HR. So related to HR that you need to know about it, right? NRich is doing the similar kind of a trainings. Actually, you can approach us, we can tell you and we can give you some kind of a guidance. There is a question from Romesh. Our company is facing a financial crisis due to this non-productivity during the lockdown. I need to plan for a cost reduction and effective engagement aspects in our organization. What should I learn to overcome this challenge? Romesh, yes, fantastic. So the company is facing due to the non-productivity, right, during this lockdown period, cost reduction and effective engagement aspects. First of all, if you are into HR, I don't know what kind of position that you are into, right? So if you are into HR, I'm just assuming that if you are into HR, because I'm addressing the HR folks. So if you are into HR, actually, what is that you need to know is, first of all, every HR must know about the business first. They need to become a partner to the business. That's how the business partner word has come. So you need to know about what is the business that we are into, how the money is flowing actually, what kind of services or products that we are giving it to the people, where things are getting stuck actually, and what kind of efforts that are needed actually to move forward. So if you know the dots or diagnostic points where the pain is happening, the red zones, if you can understand that. So how to bring about the more productivity towards those things, right? If you can identify those things, then you need to see that along with the business managers, along with the other production or other people, right? As a HR, you also need to get into such kind of take partnership into in resolving such kind of activities, for which you need to understand, you need to have an understanding of it. First you need to learn about business related details about it, then finances, budgets, costs, right? You need to get familiar with these words, and you need to understand what is the contextual meaning in your organization. With numbers, you should be able to understand those things. And third thing that what I would say is effective engagement aspects. So engagement, when it happens with the people, engagement happens with the people when people are so comfortable, people are confident about it, people are, they know something and they are excited to do, when they are striving for something to do, right? Then people would be very much happy. See, when you are in joyful and joyful actually to work towards those things, and all, your engagement will happen. There is no such kind of thing that we have to do separate activity, then only the engagement will come up under. No, create such kind of a, it is a continuous process. Last time also we have conducted a session in that we discussed about the engagement activities and what is the meaning of engagement during this particular period also. So engagement is not having any kind of a disconnected things, and more communication, transparency that we need to bring in, and make the people also to be part of the system. Most of the people will say that you are employees, you need to work for which we are paying, right? You need to do and you need to deliver. That's all. If you are in that particular, again and again, you are giving the same kind of a signals and all, people will not get engaged. They'll feel forceful and they'll become stressful in that. Yes, there is a logic in that. I don't deny that, but still, engagement happens when there is a free environment is there, when there is an encouraging environment is there, when the performances are being recognized, when the people are being appreciated, then things will automatically get, engagement aspects will get into that. So as a HR, you need to know about the business, you need to know about the financial terms, you need to understand the contextual meanings of those things, observing those red zones and working along with the finance, HR, business managers, production or whatever. Identify those things where the choke points are there. You try to get out of those things with the talent part of it and encourage the talent to get into in solving such kind of problems, making them also inclusion, making them also into the part of that particular solution part of it. People will do voluntarily, they'll do for that. That is the human artifact, it is there. So just we need to ignite and instigate such kind of things, automatically people will take care of it, right, Ramesh? So today for that particular thing, it is the answer for me, from my side. So as we are seeing, there is another question. As we are seeing emerging technologies like AI, and there any course that a HR can go through which helps to compete with AI progression? Don't never try to compete with AI, AI progression, because artificial intelligence and machine learning and data related sciences are picking up like anything. See, never try to compete with any of the technology. Make the technology for your convenience and comfort. Don't compete with it. Okay, I don't suggest that you need to compete with the technology. What you need to do is you need to use the technology and become comfortable. I'll tell you one example. Microsoft, earlier the Microsoft is not there, right? Some 20 years back, 25 years back, people used to draw the lines with the scale in the big lectures and big books. Actually, people used to work out towards that. Even the MS Office is also not there. When the MS Office has come, people thought that our jobs will go. More of automation is happening. right? More of mission, more of automation, latest technology which is coming in, technology will throw us away. This is a complete myth actually. The technology which is developing is getting to make you error free, to become a convenient. You need to become a comfortable kind of things and all. Even if you are, you need to do something extra, something more than that. That is what is the expectation. You should never compete with the technology. Technology is always behind you. Technology is always below you. You are more superior. You are a human, right? So these conveniences were being created for the workers can do error-free job, qualitative job with lesser time, right? More accuracy, more qualitative aspects that we need to come up with. That is the idea of developing the technologies. It is not to destroy the employees. It is not to destroy the jobs of the people. The phase of the job or the mode of the job would change, but jobs doesn't go off. It is imperative for everybody to create the things. Saying no to technological progression is a foolishness. Last 100 years, the human has grown up such a way. See, if you don't have a technology development like this, without Facebook, we might not be able to interact with that. We are using this technology comfortable and conveniently, and we are discussing. Sitting at our homes, reducing a lot of costs. Nothing I paid for Facebook. Nothing you paid for the Facebook. This 1 hour of interaction that we are making it out. You are not paying me, I am not paying. Everything has become free. We are exchanging. Wonderful communication is happening. So never say no to never compete with the technology, and never say no to the technology also. And try to, you need to be, much more intelligent in terms of using that, how to use this technology for my benefit. So what is that you, as a HR, what is that you need to learn? Probably that could be the question. So what is that you need to learn is, you need to learn about the data. You need to learn about the, information. You need to learn about the metrics. You need to learn about basing on that, what is the decision making that you can take, how to solve the problems using data, right? That is where your AI and other things also will help you much better, so that they'll also give you some kind of a pinpointedly where you can look at it, and how quickly and how effectively you can take decisions and move forward. Because in today's complexity, you cannot take a single non-effective decision or a risky decision anymore. Probably earlier, 10 years back, there might be some kind of a room is there actually to recover and to come and we can make it out. Otherwise, we'll be thrown to the last in the race. So that's why the companies are not in a position to take such kind of a risky decisions, right? So that is what is the, we need to understand that. One more question is that some organizations will focus more on the employees' continuous learning aspects. Do you think the scope of the growth would be more? Yes, definitely. So there is a constant development. That's what I'm saying. There's a constant development of learning. If you are investing in the learning, what could be the ROI? Much more, where it would be. It would be more if I join such organization. Yes, definitely. So if you want to join such kind of a companies, actually, the learning, the progressive aspects are coming from the learning itself. Organizations are becoming more competent towards that, more towards the new and innovative aspects people will do when they are continuously, that companies are learning aspects, learning about it. So that's where, thank you very much for this question. Definitely you need to choose such kind of companies only where the learning is there. You see, one of the top 4 reasons why people will leave is, one in 4 reasons is, top 4 reasons is, learning is not there in the organizations. I'm doing the same kind of a thing. There is no pep in that. I'm doing the same kind of an activity years together. I'm no more interested in, actually, I'm not feeling the sense of achievement. I'm not feeling the sense of progress actually. I would like to leave this organization. Everything is fine. Money is fine. Salary is fine. Work is fine. Boss is fine. Organization is fine. Employee engagement activities are fine. Birthday celebrations are fine. Going out and outings and everything is fine. But still, I'm feeling somewhere something that lacuna is there. Nothing but the learning is not there. So one of the top 4 reasons, remember this, people leaving the organizations because there is no learning aspect in that. You can easily curb out of that. Coming back to our ROI part of it. What is the ROI that organizations will have? Right? Organizations will get a competitive advantage. There is a knowledge management will happen at an org level. It happens whether people are there or not. Organizations are learning. Organizations are progressing. That is the best ROI. So that's where companies need to invest. Learning of skills. Learning effort starts with the gap analysis and filling such kind of a gap. Identifying those things and making those objectively defining those things. Investing in the learning, time, efforts, and money by the companies to make the organizations learning. And what is the ROI is organizations to get a competitive advantage on the knowledge management at org level. What is the fifth one is what are the ways that we need to go? Very good. Actually, we are investing, we are getting the ROI, things are so good, and we need to go for learning. Yes, we are ready for that. What are the ways? So encourage self-learning from the student, from the employees. The question is that, let me complete this question and then I'll come back to this. What are the ways that we need to go and to become learning organizations? Now there seems to be a condition for recession post-lockdown. People may have interest to learn, but due to lack of finances and other issues, they may not be able to focus on learning. How organizations should support these times for learning of their employees? Disha. Hi Disha, actually yes, there is a recession which is going to happen and the finances are very tough actually. For people need to pay for that. Even we are also getting such kind of a facing such kind of a requests also that people are not able to pay. Right? This is the time where we have to go support hand in hand. Right? So organizations need to find out such kind of a companies where they can tie up and slowly they can release their payments and can get into that and fulfilling certain objectives and making it as a continuous project model so that it becomes a long term. It becomes there is an understanding of the organization needs. Payment can be done deferred way so that it becomes easy for the organizations, and then the learning doesn't stop because of that, because you need to learn and you need to pay also, right? Unless until you learn and do something about it, the finances will not come and you cannot pay for that. So it's a complete lock situation actually, one after the other. So what you need to do is you need to make the wonderful coordination behind the between the companies actually, and they need to help hand in hand, and slowly they need to come out of that and they need to run the wheel also. The same thing happens with with the suppliers, with the vendors, with the laborers, with the contract people and all, services, goods, production, everything gets slowed down. Finances also will go slow down. So you need to go hand in hand so that definitely that can be taken care of, right? So that's where I suggest that deferred way, continuous way, but a deferred way, not completely you're paying in full and making the things and all. So slowly that you need to bring it into a momentum that organizations need to find out such kind of tie up with those learning organizations, learners or trainers, whoever it is, technical people. If they are internal, well and good, fantastic, nothing like anything. If something that you need to learn and make that learning needs to happen from outside actually, so you need to get in tie up with such kind of people for a long-term journey, right? Not for a short term. Complete this, you take this, get out. No, it's not like that. You need to have a long-term kind of things. Then people would be interested actually to take lesser at this moment, and when things are picking up, you can pay them as the things are going, right? Coming back to what are the ways that we need to go for is encourage self-learning. I think these kind of things also might give you some answers for you, Disha. What I'm saying is the ways that we need to go for with those things is encourage self-learning. Most of the times, once you identify together with the people and all, you give that particular smaller chunks of the task to the people to encourage them to learn self, create such kind of facilities for them. Micro learning and online learning through videos, online live coaching, right? And a combination of all of these things, right? So there is a workaround creation, doing some self exercises, interactive videos that people are falling into. They're going through. So all these things will make the people to learn about it, right? So this is how you need to encourage the people for that, for those ways. And by the way, NRich HCM Solutions is also into exclusive training for the HR people, and we are following all these methods. Online live coaching, since we are doing from last 2 years, we are doing the online live coaching, online videos, micro learning that we are focusing on, right? A continuous learning mechanism and the workarounds that we are creating for our students, right? And this is all what we are experiencing. That's what is coming out right now. And how to move forward. right? This is the last topic that we have to talk about. When the organizations have to become learning mode, they need to get into that, right? Not only in lockdown period, even after that also. There are six methods, 6 pointers with that, right? One is set the learning goals. Smart goals, you need to fix it up. Specific, measurable, right? Achievable, relevant or realistic, and time bound. Goals that you need to set for individuals, teams, and as a whole organization also. And provide requisite tools and the materials also for that. Learning materials also. Second one is, third one is have a periodic reviews. Learning reviews that you need to have. And fourth one is having a good feedback. Giving the feedback to the people. How is that you have learned and what is that you have learned, and taking the feedback is also very important. How much they are learning and what is happening with it. And fifth one is observe the patterns. What is the patterns means? Patterns is to whatever that you have learned, whether you are able to do that or not. Suppose you have learned something about Excel, right? My classic example is pivot table or some macros or something else that you have learned actually. Are you able to translate into your work? Observe such kind of patterns, right? And then reward the progress of the performance. Suppose there is a progressive things that are happening, so we need to reward such kind of things. These are all the 6 activities that we need to do so that organizations will become more towards the learning part of it. Yes, it's 5 o'clock, and there's a last question. Is there? This is the last question. Then I'll close this. How can we improve the self-learning, especially when procrastination is dominating? Procrastination comes when there is no motivational goals are not there. When the goals are not sizable, there is something that we need to strive for, and we are not able to identify ourselves into those things and all. Then procrastination comes to us. That's where we'll try to no, we'll say that we'll do it next time, we'll do it later. Ha, kya hoga, right? All these are holidays only. Looks like a holidays only. It's not Monday, right? It also seems to be Sunday. There is no difference in the 7 days actually. We can do it later, maybe in the night. I mean, I'll stay late in the night today and I'll complete it. Right? So slowly you're postponing every time that your procrastination is coming into. That means the goal, whatever that you have fixed to complete those things, is not sizable. The first question comes when it is not sizable, it is not encouraging you to do those things. So have set such kind of a sizable goals for yourself. Don't be very smaller or a very bigger also. Anyway, I cannot do anything, so that's where I'm losing on it. No, I have to do it, but it seems to be not a sizable. It is not of my size, right? It is not optimally okay for me to get a feeling of achievement into that. So these are all the sizable goals that you need to do. That is the first thing that you need to improve in yourself, so that procrastination will not dominate in that case. There are many other things out there how to not to get into the procrastination part of it, handle it. So fix up the times, or being organized, right? Getting appreciations, and give that power to somebody else when you are not able to make it out, right? Don't keep it with you. I'm not able to do. So give that particular thing to somebody else. Let them take over, and let them use that power, and let them say that no, you have to come and you have to make it out. Give that power to them, and let them you make it out that whatever they say, you'll do it. So like that, a friend, a colleague, or a senior, or a spouse, whomever that you can take, and you can get out of that particular procrastination part of it. There are many such kind of things are there. Anyway, sometime we'll discuss it. Right. So this is about the learning part of it. Thank you very much, my dear friends, and I'm sorry for the technical delay that was happened. First 4 minutes it happened actually, and thank you for your patience listening and taking time. Definitely we'll meet up with another session maybe in a couple of days. Right. Again we'll come up with another things, and please do like our Facebook page, our LinkedIn page. Please do follow our LinkedIn page, and whatever the videos that we are having, we have a YouTube channel with NRich HCM solutions on the name of it. So you can like it, and you can share, and you can subscribe to our channels actually, right? Thank you. We'll come up with that, and this becomes a video and is available. If any thing that you have missed in this, you can see in that video very shortly. Maybe by today evening itself you can see those things, right? Thank you very much. Bye bye. Stay home, stay safe.